Please start.
Yeah. So, good evening, good afternoon, good morning to different various time zones. Today's class is one of my most favorite topics for discussion, because if I have to tell you like why this is my most favorite class, I mean, it's got something to do with my profession. It's all about the mind. It's all about the mind, and it's all about how the subconscious mind controls 95% of our behavior, and how the conscious thoughts it controls only just 5% of the behavior, wherein we think that it is the conscious thoughts that really do everything for us, but we fail to understand it's not the conscious thoughts, it is the subconscious thoughts does that everything for us. So today's class is definitely interesting class, and one of my most favorite classes for that matter, because it's all to do with the mind. It's all to do with the mind. So probably I'll try to probably start with a question, so I need some responses for my question. uh, like uh, um, if you think about your most favorite food right now, think think about your most favorite food. How many of you feel your mouth is watering? I need a quick response, please, such that I can go ahead with my class. How many of you feel your mouth is watering the moment you think about the food? Your favorite food, your favorite meal, probably. Yeah? Yes? Yes, please.
Uh, I'm a foodie, and my favorites are a lot of things, but the most thing is rajma chawal or bhalla papdi or something like this.
Yeah.
Really love it.
Yeah. So the moment you think about it, like, do you feel that positive vibes in you? Like you feel good, you feel nice?
Yes,
Yeah. Is your mouth watering?
obviously yes.
Yeah. Okay. So is the food right in front of you?
And I won't stop.
No, is the food in front of you right now?
No, no, not right now.
You're just thinking about it, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Uh, yeah, thank you, Raj. So my next question would be like, if you think about your first childhood crush, how many of you feel that positive emotions just getting inside you? Think about your first childhood crush. I mean, you're just crazy about that person for some reason. How many of you feel that feel good emotions? You feel so nice and you feel so lovely, despite of your marital status now. Despite of your marital status now, how many of you feel so good about it, so beautiful about it? Can I get some responses? Quick response, please. Yes or no? I just need an yes or no. Do you feel good? Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. The moment you think about your first childhood crush, you feel a lot of positive vibes in you. The moment you think about one of your most favorite acquaintance, you feel so good about it. Though the person is not present and right in front of you, though it has been years together that this incident happened to you, but despite that, the kind of pleasure that the situation is giving you is as good as the situation is right now happening at this particular moment. At this particular moment, let us now take the case of very fearful situation. Like, let us say that you felt quite threatful, you felt a lot of anger, you felt ashamed, you felt guilty, you felt there was a very difficult situation in your life. And the moment you think about it now, it also equally creates the same kind of emotions what has given to you earlier. Do you all agree with me or not on that? Do you all agree with me or not on
Yes,
that?
we agree.
Yeah, right. Thanks. Yeah. So if you have to really, really understand, if you have to really, really understand, you will note that the part of the mind that is playing a major role is your subconscious mind. I'll now come to like what exactly is the meaning of subconscious mind. If you notice, I though there are three levels of consciousness that as per the psychoanalyst, but I like to take the major two levels of consciousness. One is like the conscious levels, the conscious mind. When I say conscious mind, Kavitha is now talking to you. She's just interacting with you. Kavitha is wearing a blue top, okay, and there are rings on her fingers, and you observe, you use your senses, the awareness is created, okay. Now you're just the food is being cooked in the kitchen, you get into the kitchen, you get to see that the food is giving out some good smell, and then that aroma is actually triggering you to make you understand that something good is happening in the kitchen. So there are two levels of consciousness that the mind is in all the time. One is the conscious mind, second one is the subconscious mind. Scientists have proven that we try to behave we try to behave using the conscious mind only at 5%, only at 5%. The balance 95%, we use your subconscious mind. As I just narrated an incident to you, that when you think about your favorite food or your first crush, the kind of positive emotions or the vibes what you get is just too amazing. It's just too amazing. It's full of positive vibes. It's full of positive vibes. So this is exactly where the subconscious mind plays an important role. And why is that we need to understand the subconscious mind? As I mentioned earlier, 95% of the times you are behaving based on your subconscious mind. Based on your subconscious mind. I will narrate few more examples. I'm not sure like how many of you know like how the elephant is trained. How the elephant is trained to to be at a place or to stay at a place once the work is done. When the elephant was too young, when the elephant was too small, when the elephant was too small, the baby elephant, when it was a baby, the trainer used to tie the elephant legs with a very small thread or a chain kind of a thing to a small stick. The elephant has is conditioned to think that you don't move. When you move you bleed, it might hurt you. So that is a feeling that is at the subconscious mind, and the conscious mind now taking that subconscious feeling does not move from that place, it tries to stay in the place. After the elephant becomes an adult elephant, when the elephant becomes an adult elephant, still the trainer, he still ties it with a small chain. I'm not sure like how many of you would have noticed that. You would have noticed that, but this is exactly what they don't use a big chain because the elephant is now grown up. They don't use a big chain because elephant is grown up. They still use the same small chain. They still use the same small kind of a kind of a stick or a support system, and the elephant still thinks that in still thinks that when I was a kid, it can hurt me if I move, so I'm not supposed to move. Though I'm a grown up adult, it doesn't think about its strengths. It doesn't think about its abilities. It doesn't thinks about its power. It just thinks, it is conditioned to think that, I have a problem. I cannot move. It might bleed. It might give a pain to me. So at a conscious level, the behavior is, the elephant doesn't move, it just stays. It just stays. So this is the power of the subconscious mind. This is the power of the subconscious mind. Scientists have proven that 95% of our behavior is based on the subconscious mind. Subconscious mind. And this subconscious mind does not have logic. It doesn't have logic. It doesn't have an analytical skill to think it is right or wrong. If you have experienced positive emotions, it starts thinking in a very positive way. If you have experienced negative emotions, it starts behaving in a negative way. It just gets those impressions the way you have given it. Whereas your conscious mind, it has logic, it has analytics, it has everything. Wherein the subconscious mind does not have great logic, it just have that emotions or feelings associated with a particular situation. Children, usually when they grow up, they are scared of their dads in a patriarchal society. They are scared of their moms in a matriarchal society, because that is the way they have been groomed. Thinking that a patriarchal society, the father is the most powerful figure. The child grows up like that. Even when the child grows up and becomes an adult and then gains a better position than the father, still the child has a kind of a respect or a fear for the patriarchal figure, because we've been nurtured, we've been groomed, we've been told that the father is the most powerful person in the family. So listening or respecting the father is pretty important. So without our knowledge, without much of a thought process into it, we are so much nurtured with beliefs, with values, with memories, with feelings, with emotions, with experiences, with our limiting beliefs, and all these things. And that is so much put up at the childhood. It is so much put up at the childhood that we grow up thinking that this is what it is, based on the experiences. So the most important aspect, and I like to say something, because as I just mentioned, I'm not able to see the words. If there is something like, I appreciate if people can just talk to me, because as I mentioned, I don't know, there is some issue, because I've been overusing my system, and so I'm not sure. I'm not able to read anything like that's coming on in the form of messages. Yeah. So this is something that's pretty important. So every behavior of us has something to do with the subconscious mind. So today's class, we are going to talk about how do we really control, or how do we really understand the subconscious mind, or train the subconscious mind, or empower the subconscious mind to do better, to be better, to really to check out the things better, such that there can be a change in the behavior. Because we all know pretty well our behavior in a given situation is responsible for our success or for our failure. We all know that very well. The behavior plays an important role. The behavior plays a very, very important role. Because when I say behavior, the behavior has a thought, it has a feeling, it has an emotion associated with it, and a thought with an emotion With a thought with an emotion leads to an action. A thought with an emotion leads to an action, and this action is what will make us better. The action is what is going to do better for us, right? So how do we really train the limiting beliefs? How do we train the negative emotions? How do we train the subconscious mind? Because if you notice there are some people who cannot take the failure, despite having a very stable financial background, despite having name, despite having fame, despite having everything. One small failure still will not put those people on roads. Despite that they still feel as if they are on roads, because that is the work of the subconscious mind. Because your conscious mind knows very well that your bank balance is good, you can survive better, you can live better, you can be at your best, and you have a name, you have a business background, that has a name and fame, you can be there. But despite that, just because some girl has rejected you or a guy has rejected you, you feel you're lost for everything. Because here, though the logic says that everything is good, your subconscious mind is telling you probably have been nurtured with a fear of rejection. You have been probably nurtured with the fear of rejection, that you feel that somebody has rejected me and that is end of it. That is end of it. So if you notice most of the impressions or the experiences that have been accumulated in the subconscious mind, they stay with us, and these are and they always protect you. They always protect you in the sense, like, as I said, they always make you, give you the past experiences, and they force you to behave dominating the conscious mind. So let me tell you what exactly, how do you do? Like, many a times, though should have taken this action, still you are not able to do that. You are stuck somewhere. You are stuck somewhere, and you're not able to come out of that. You're not able to come out of that. So there are certain strategies I like to give today. Like, how do you really train? The most important thing is, like, you can train your subconscious mind. And let me also tell you, the subconscious mind is more strengthened when you are repeating the same emotions again and again. When you're repeating the emotions again and again, the subconscious mind is so strengthened. It is when you're repeating the behaviors again and again. Let us say that you are bad. You think that you're not really, there is something you cannot really do, that you're scared of water. And we know some people, like, who just go with an accident, and they cannot really, redo that again. They cannot really, take back that opportunity again. So you have to understand that what are the certain, you need to understand the rules or the strategies to really empower the subconscious mind and remove the limiting beliefs that you have with you, because that can lead to success. Because people say that it doesn't change. There are certain phrases that we often keep hearing from people that, this will never change, this is an end of it. My destiny is that, it doesn't be better. I can never be successful in this. I'm always scared of this particular thing. I can never do this. I'm not a good cook. And this is happening because somebody else has come in. This is happening because God has been good to me. So I don't see my skill in that. So we have a certain strong limiting beliefs that we put to ourselves, and we don't go beyond that. So here there are a few strategies that we need to first understand. Before I come to the strategies, how do you rewire How do you rewire your subconscious mind? The most first important thing that we need to understand, is first we need to take a decision. A decision is pretty important because we need to first decide that yes, I'm gonna change. The reason why I say this, let me tell you. Most of the times we are so much distracted to win over a situation that we don't really try to find a solution to the given situation. We are so much attracted, we are so much distracted to winning. Like, let us say that there is an argument that happens between two people, two partners. Both the partners are only busy trying to win over a given situation, that they fail to forget the fact that they have to find a solution to the given problem, and they lose the track of the actual problem. I can narrate another example here. When a fight starts between a wife and a husband, most of the times, most of the people, the focus on the existing problem is lost, and the solution goes on to somewhere. You did that at that time, you did this at that time, there was something wrong at that time, and things start moving heavy, because this is a process where both the partners are trying to focus their attention on winning the argument, rather they lose the track of the real problem. The first most important thing that is very much needed while trying to really remove the limiting beliefs, or to really understand that there is a problem, is first to know that there is a problem, accept that, acknowledge that, and agree to that there is a problem. And the problem, you are not trying, the whole objective of addressing this problem is not trying to fight with each other. It is not trying to prove who's better. It is not trying to say that you are the best. That is not the objective of the whole argument. The objective of the fight, there is a disagreement in the situation. What do you do to really bring in an amicable solution to the disagreement? That should be the motive. That should be the goal focus. The goal focus is not like who is going to win over the whole argument, because most of the times, 85% of the times, the whole ideology of trying to solve a disagreement leads to ego satisfaction. Did I win or did he win? Finally, you don't find a solution. It again starts off with the next argument. I'm sure that some of you would have definitely experienced that. Can I hear a voice from the audience, please? Can I hear a voice? Anyone?
Yes, Dr. Kavitha, it's true what you're speaking. Like, instead of coming to the main thing, normally in fights, this happens.
Yeah, it happens because here, that is exactly what we try to do. Most of the problems are not sorted out. Most of the relationship issues are not sorted out, because we are only busy trying to win each other. We are trying to win over an argument and trying to deviate from the actual problem, so the disagreement stays there forever, and we are never finding a solution to the disagreement. So first you need to decide that yes, there is a disagreement, and we are going to sort the disagreement. While thinking so, while sticking on to that, you would be on trying to solve the disagreement. So you will not be diverted to anything else. That is the first strategy. The second strategy, once you think of that, yes, I'm going to change my subconscious beliefs. I'm going to change my subconscious beliefs. Second step would be like, I'm going to be highly dedicated or committed to it. I will be committed to it. I will be committed to it. Most of the times, the commitment is not possible. The commitment is lost because of fear. Because of fear. So, what is this fear? If you notice, most of us, most of our fears, they fall into five categories. They majorly fall into five categories. One, fear of death. Second, fear of separation. Third, fear for freedom, fear of losing the freedom. Fourth, fear of losing your body parts. Like we usually see the phobias, right? When you some people have phobias for height. When they get onto the height, they get scared. They get scared because they feel I have a fear and I might fall down and I might break my bones. You know, and the fifth one is fear of separation. Fear of separation. If you notice, any fear that comes to you, any fear that comes to you, or anything that you decide to commit, you cannot stay on that commitment because of these five major heads of fears. These fears stop you. They provide an inertia to your action process. They stop you there, and you know and you know and they don't allow you to move forward. They don't allow you to move forward. So get rid of first, and let me tell you, most of the fears what you face are not real. Are not real. What in case if I fail? See, there is an equal possibility or probability of success when you have the fear for failure. The probability of success is equally in. When you have a fear of separation, the fear of being together is at the equal percentage, because either you have to separate or you can be together is based on how well you really bring in the problem, how well you find a solution to the problem, and how well you close the disagreement between each other, and how well you really do that you're doing a better job there, right? And so first, when you want to commit, once you decide you want to commit on that, the most important thing that really troubles you is the fear. Get rid of the fears, because most of the fears what you are facing, they are not real. They're not real. You're just thinking because few failures from your subconscious mind, they keep telling you protect yourself, that there's a problem that can come in, that can really come in, right? So fear and self doubt, get rid of them. They are not real. And how do you do that? When you know pretty well, there is a chance for something becoming better is equal to chance of something going waste. At least you are giving a try. To ensure that you are a part of it. And you are giving a try to ensure that you're doing that. Because let me tell you something, a very serious truth. The biggest guilt that a human being possesses is the guilt that they haven't tried on something. Because most of the people, you should have been watching people lamenting on that, like, how I wish that I did that but I didn't do that, how I wish that was possible but that I couldn't do that, how I wish that is easy but I couldn't do that. Most of the times it is the lamenting. It's the lamenting that people really cannot do. And let me also tell you, most of the cases, even if you look at a career, if you look at relationships, there are people who have not tried at all. But there is so much stuff sticks to themselves that at some point of time in their lives, there is so much of guilt that they start feeling that they couldn't do something. So the second most important thing, when somebody is committing to certain aspects, there could be fear, there could be fear, there could be guilt, there could be self doubts. So try to come out of all that. Because the possibility of success is equal to the possibility of failure. Unless until you try and you stand on that commitment, you really do not know the outcome, and don't decide on the outcome well in advance that it is not going to work out for you. That is the second strategy that you need to adopt. And once you commit, once you decide, once you commit, next, third one would be, try to see like what are the things that are in your control and what are the things that are not in your control, because most of the times we also feel bad for the things that are not in our control, and we don't make an attempt for the things that can be brought in into our control. So you need to audit your situation and try to see what is that you can do to bring in things into your control. To bring in things into your control. So auditing your situation and understanding what is that you can do within the given limitations of what you are put into is the third most important thing. Is the third most important thing. You need to understand that. Next is, the next one would be, the fourth one would be, and you have those limiting beliefs. As I told you, certain belief systems stop you and they don't make you move forward because of your past experiences. Because of your past experiences, try to see that those were the beliefs that were connected to your past and they are not connected to you now. They are not connected to you now. When something is not connected to you now, why do you worry so much about it? When you are a kid, you couldn't do well in certain things, but now you are an adult. Probably your life experiences, your wisdom, your abilities, your things have definitely evolved better, that you can do much better. That you can do much better. So stop those, come out of those limiting beliefs and try to give some positive beliefs to yourself. As I mentioned, the subconscious mind doesn't have a logic. The subconscious mind cannot think on its own. The subconscious mind takes what you give to it as an input. If you start giving, I can do it, many a times keep doing that, your mind is primed. Your mind is primed to think that you can do it. When you think you cannot do it, your mind is primed to think that you cannot do it. You cannot do it. There has been a very interesting experiment that has been done at Harvard University, wherein they have taken group of students, and they made them show they made them show all the positive emotion movies, and they have taken the same number of another group of students and they have shown them very serious and very aggressive repulsive movies. After watching the movies for quite a long time, they brought these students and they have put them into situations that can lead to some kind of intolerance. The students who have watched the positive movies, their response to the situation was far better. The students who are watching the negative movies, their response was much. It was not that wow. It was like it was rude and it was aggressive. It was aggressive. So priming. The priming of your mind is something that you can do it to yourself, and priming can happen when you are giving repetitive experiences to yourself. Tell yourself that you can do it. Tell yourself that you're going to be successful. Tell yourself that this is not an end of it. Tell yourself that you overcome many things in life. Keep telling things to yourself. When you start keep telling things to yourself, you are priming, you are conquering your limiting beliefs and you are empowering your beliefs, and that can happen through priming. When I say priming, it is a repetition. Start giving repetitions, affirmations, positive affirmations. Put yourself into a situation where you can be more at peace, and then you can do it. Right. So that is next. You need to stop your beliefs. And next important thing is like the gratitude. As I mentioned in the last class, be grateful for what you are, because many research, positive psychology research, has been proving again and again and again that people don't have gratitude for what they are and what they can be and what they have and what they have been living. People always feel bad about what they don't have. Gratitude is another aspect that you need to think you need to think, how you need to think of right few things every day to be grateful, for all the things that is happening to you in your life, rather than criticizing, or rather than fearing over the thing. Because I think you need to change that hardwire changing the hardwiring mindset. And next most important thing is, I call it an ABC. I call it an ABC, that there is an action, there is a behavior, there is a consequence. Okay, if you are upset and if you are not able to do certain things, you make three columns. The first column is your action column. This action column, this ABC. A is not the action, A is the situation. Like this, you write the whole situation, like what you have faced, and you write the behavior, what how you have reacted to it or responded to it, and the consequence of it is what. Like for example, let us say there is an argument between you and your friend. There is an argument between you and your friend over something, so you narrate the whole thing under column A. So behavior, so you started, you were upset, you started behaving weird with your friend, you started arguing with your friend, you shouted at him, that made him angry, so and so, so and so, so and so, so and so. Consequence of it, what is the consequence of this whole thing? This consequence of this situation is like, there is a heartbreak between you and your friend, and the relationship is not, it's not so happy, you feel that you've lost a great friend, like you had a great friend, you lost a great friend. Now think about a situation. Now when you see all these three columns, there is a certain column, there is a certain behavior, a behavior that has triggered this consequence, or that has given this consequence as an outcome. Write it down. It could be something like, I shouted at my friend, I said he was useless. I said that, he's the most difficult person that I've ever found in my life. I called him bad destiny, which has triggered him. So imagine a time, in case if you had not said these words in your behavior, how the consequence would have been. Would you have lost your friend? In terms of relationships, probably, would you have diverted yourself, as I mentioned earlier, would you have diverted yourself, from unnecessary, situations, and then probably found a solution to the disagreement. You think about it, which behavior of yours has triggered that action, which behavior of yours, or your friends has triggered the action. Let me also tell you, if the friend is also triggering a behavior, a difficult behavior, still you have the capability to bring things under control. As I mentioned, it is not trying to win over a situation. Let us know that there is a situation. The whole ideology of the situation is to find a solution to the problem, is to find a solution to the disagreement. The whole ideology or the objective or the goal is not to fight. The goal is not to see who wins over it. The goal is not to see whose ego is better. The goal is to see that, are we getting a solution for this disagreement? I think when we start mentioning which thing has actually triggered the whole thing, we can always make attempts and be conscious to see that we don't use those words, we don't use those things, and still bring a relationship into control, or bring a solution to under control. So these are the few strategies that you can use to empower your subconscious positive mind thinking. When you are empowering your subconscious positive mind thinking, it becomes a habit. Let me tell you, this is so important, because another way subconscious mind works is based on the habits. When I say habits, I often keep mentioning this example. Habits are taken up at different layers. I'll probably cite a very small example here. The example could be, let us say that there is a small young kid at your home who has not seen a cycle, but you take the child to the park, and the child happens to see somebody riding a cycle. This is stage one. When I say stage one, the child doesn't know what a cycle is, nor the child has the skill to ride the cycle. So this is the stage most of us are in. We do not know that there is a problem. That is an unconscious, unskilled stage. Unconscious, unskilled stage. We do not know there is a problem. We don't sit and we don't understand there is a problem. As I mentioned, first, do you have the desire to change? That is the stage one. We are not conscious of the problem. Don't have the skill to solve the problem. This is the stage one. We spend most of our lives in this stage. We don't bother. We brand, we become judgmental. We say he's super angry, he's super, he's short tempered, and we try to be so judgmental because I say that, I'm a very angry person. I can't really control myself because I know there is a problem, but I don't really look at it as a problem. I think it is a normal part of the behavior. This is one. Stage two. The child now sees the cycle in the park. In the park, child understand there is something called a cycle. So the child is behind the father that I need a cycle. I need a cycle. This is stage two. Stage two, you're conscious but you're unskilled. In the sense, I make attempts to know I have a problem. I know there is a problem because I don't blame. I don't blame others they have a problem. I don't lament that others have a problem. Rather, I think there is a problem, but still I do not know what the problem is. I do not know what the problem is. This is stage two of our behavior, wherein I'm conscious, but I'm not skilled. The first stage is I'm not conscious, I'm not skilled. The second stage is I'm conscious, but I'm not skilled. I'm not skilled. So the father comes back home. I'm taking the whole story, with the cycle and the father and the boy, such that it becomes easy for us to understand how the subconscious mind gets the imprints of all the behaviors, all the emotions, in fact. So the third stage comes. The father somehow feels, chalo, this boy needs this. The boy needs the cycle, so I need to get the cycle for the boy. So he goes to the market and he gets the cycle for the boy. Now the child is sitting on that. The child is sitting on that, and the child starts riding, falling, trying, doesn't know where is the brake, doesn't know where is the clutch, doesn't know how to stop, doesn't know how to move on speed. And so the third stage is like, I'm conscious, I'm semi-skilled. I'm not completely skilled. I'm still trying to understand. It is a practice stage. Right? I'm trying. I'm falling down. I'm getting up. There are bruises on me. I still feel it is okay because my objective is to conquer. My objective is to get the skill. So my bruises on my knee doesn't make a difference to me. I'm still okay with it. The small wounds, I'm okay with it. I'm still want to do that. So I am at a stage where I'm conscious and still not so skilled. So you drive for a month, you drive for 2 months, you drive for 3 months, you drive for 4 months. Then you reach a stage, then you are driving the cycle, you are not checking where the brake is, you are not checking where the clutch is, you are not checking, you want to move faster, you ride faster, and you don't make attempts to see that you need to do something to make it faster because your subconscious mind is telling you, you know the skill and you can do it. Somebody comes, somebody bumps in, you put a brake, and you don't consciously check where the brake is because you know what you need to press into the brake. You've reached a stage where you're unconscious and you're totally skilled. So the whole ideology of empowering your subconscious mind is to bring to that stage wherein my behavior all the time is positive. I know my objective of my discussion, my behavior is not to win over, but to find a solution to the disagreement. Is to find solution to a problem. It is not trying to win over each other, win over each other. When I'm doing this, I might fail initially in the third stage, or I might be not be, I might pass, I might succeed, I might fail. That's okay. But when you are doing it again and again and again and again and again, you give such a deep impression at your subconscious mind that no matter what, how big the problem is, you still are so good at that. You still can bring in a positive solution because you have a controlled behavior, you have a focused behavior, you have a focused problem solving strategy. This is the simple way that you really train your subconscious mind. Again, I take it in 3 to 4 lines in short. Initially, you do not really know what your problem is, why you're behaving like that. Take a notebook and say, why I feel bad. Why I feel bad. I feel bad because I'm not getting what I want. I feel bad because I want to win over. I feel bad because this is not, without this I cannot live, because it's something related to my survival. Start mentioning. So the first most important thing that you need to know, be conscious of why your behavior is like this. The second, probably you know that there is a problem, but you do not have the skill to solve the problem. The second, take your behavior to a level where you're trying, you might succeed, you might fail. That's okay. That's okay. It shouldn't make a difference. At least you're committed. That's what I mentioned earlier. Commitment is pretty important. You might fail. That's okay. That's okay, because the whole objective is not winning over. The whole objective is finding a solution to the problem, to the disagreement. So you want to do that. You want to change the behavior. You want to change the behavior. So the second most important thing, you fail or you pass, that's okay. That's okay. But you don't stop trying. You don't stop trying. And then probably after some time you are adopting this again and again. You make your subconscious mind to such an extent that in the most negative situation, still you can find a positive element. Still you can find a positive element. Your behavior changes. As I mentioned in my last class, your behavior, behind every behavior there is an emotion. Behind every emotion there is an inner voice that is telling you something, that you're good, you're bad. And this inner voice and this emotion are nothing but your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind. And behind that emotion and that inner voice, there is a situation, there is an experience. And behind that experience there is a context. Your past experiences have given you certain emotions. Your past experience have given you certain feelings that it is going to be, that certain belief systems. Now it is time, as adults you need to change that thought process. What you know, you cannot change your childhood situations, but you can change the way you can respond to a situation, or you can react to a situation. So with this, I end my talk. So empowering your subconscious mind is very, very important, because 95 percentage of the times your behavior is based on how your experiences put up in the subconscious mind, your emotions put up in the subconscious mind. Subconscious mind does not have a logic to defy. It doesn't have a logic. You need something, that's it. It's only emotional. So with this I end the talk. If there are questions, I'll be more happy to take it up. Thank you so much. Raj?
Yes, Dr. Kavitha, I have a question here.
Yeah, please.
First of all, I like to ask you that the subconscious mind is the process not we believe is not only from this childhood, maybe from the previous ones also.
Yes, absolutely.
So, is it possible, really possible, that in short time you can change your thought process? What is all happening in the subconscious mind?
Okay. Usually they say that research has proved that on an average, it takes around 3 to 4 weeks to change the belief systems. 3 to 4 weeks. But
Okay.
again, it can depend on the individual. Let us say that trauma has been so huge. Let us say the trauma has been so huge. It could be child sexual abuse, or it could be something like it could be something like the family dying right in front of the child, or it could be something like a situation that has really hit so hard, right? Under these situation it might take little more time, but usually that's why I say it is a belief that we cannot change. It is a belief that we cannot change. That is a limiting belief. Research has proven that 3 to 4 weeks of time with the commitment, dedication, decision, and then whenever you're going wrong, trying to pull yourself back and trying to put in place, stating that yes, this is you, we are not going that way, that is not you, this is you, this is you. I think that is the whole challenge in the process. If that can be taken up, yes, it is possible. It is definitely possible. Because if you really read the success stories of the people, right, you will know that this has happened at some point of time in their lives. This has happened at some point of time in their lives. Let us take the case of pretty obese people, like who reduce so much by 20 kgs, 25 kgs. How is it possible? I cannot live without eating that kind of carbs, or that kind of energy is a strong mindset, a limiting belief that has been put in the subconscious mind. Now when the food is given to me, I know that I'm not going to get attracted to the junk. Okay, on 10 times of eating junk food, let me reduce it to 5 times. Now I go to a stage wherein I say that I'm not going to touch the junk food. And next stage comes wherein I state that I just food is not enough. Exercising is equally important. So I try to focus on my physical activity as well. So nutritious food and physical activity are the two areas where I can do to reduce. You got my point, Raj? Because obesity, because these are all the examples. These are all the examples. People say no matter what I do, I don't reduce. I don't reduce. The whole problem is because they're really not doing in a dedicated or a committed way. When you can do something in a dedicated or a committed way, you can overcome anything in this world, anything in this world. But you need to first decide strongly that yes, I will hold the discipline of sticking on to my goals, my objectives, no matter what comes in between. That's pretty important. That discipline is pretty important.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kavita. It's a little hard initially, but I think the mind has to be programmed or
No,
reprogrammed, I
because
must say.
because it is hard, because you're conditioned like that. You conditioned like that. You're so conditioned like that that you feel that it's not easy. It's not easy, but you need to make an attempt. You need to make an attempt to really do that. To really do that. See, I tell you, I can state few examples. State few examples. I know a child like who has come to me. I think when she was 10 or 11 years old, with some problem of a social anxiety, because the child was not comfortable. The child was not able to face the public. The child used to feel a lot of anxiety. The child was had that because maybe because of various reasons. I don't want to name the child. No. Now that child is one of the top DJs. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Can you believe that? A child who had a social anxiety problem, who could not be, now she's one of the top DJs. She plays in many of the the nightclubs here, and then she does such wonderful job. The same child, when she was brought to me when she was hardly around 11 years old, the child was brought to me with a problem of social anxiety. Social anxiety. I tell you, anything is possible, because the kind of potential that a human mind has is so tremendous that we are very comfortable being in our comfort zones. As I mentioned, that we have self doubts, we have fears, we have anxieties, we have limiting beliefs that we cannot do, which has been so much triggered into us that that we feel that we are limited, but we are not. We are unlimited beings, because human being is one of the highest evolutions, like which has the highest consciousness, and we can do everything and anything. So I think it's all the limiting beliefs that really stops us, because you yourself can see around you, people who have reduced from from being pretty fat to thin, or people who have come out of their comfort zones and then who have become so different. If you can note in your own community, right, you will find a lot of examples, lot of examples who have overcome their inhibitions to become what they are today, let me tell you, in my others one, people had only two options of either going for an engineering or a medicine. They didn't have any other, in the sense like it is a very conscious decision that they have taken, that when a child is completing the 12th grade, the child has to be either into a medical stream or an engineering stream. I was also put into the same. Not that I intentionally chose something else, because I couldn't get a seat, so I mean I couldn't do a medicine. But let me tell you, that didn't stop me there, but I knew that these are my skill sets. I knew I always like human beings, I always like the behaviors, I always like to interact with them. So I started thinking maybe I should do something related more to the mind. The inhibition what I had, that okay, this is an end of it, and because I couldn't get medicine, that's an end of it. I never had that. I had to overcome that to become what I am today. Because I myself can quote as an example that way. I can myself quote as an example that way. I think we need to come out of those limiting beliefs. Once we are out of it, people create wonders. People create real wonders. I'll give you another example of Einstein. Einstein was a different child, and the mother actually the mother put the child into a school, and when the teacher wrote a letter to the mother stating that this child is academically too backward, for my class, and I don't think I can take up classes for him. I'm really sorry about it. Because Einstein couldn't read, so he gets the letter home and he shows to the mother. He says, "What is the teacher written in that?" Then the mom says that, look here, and son, the teacher says that you're super brilliant, that you're super brilliant, that you're not eligible to be in that class. Is what she has written, and she says she cannot take up a class for you. She cannot take up a class for you. So he feels so good about himself, and you know what he has done later. We all know about it. Then after he grows up, he just checks into the letter, and then sees the teacher says the teacher cannot accommodate him in the class because his academic and his intellectual performance is not at par with the class, so he cannot be accommodated in the same class. Same class. You see the power of thought. The power of thought. I tell you, it's people think it is difficult because we are so much used to living luxuriously in our comfort zones. I think we need to come out of it to experience the full potential of what we are, what we can be, and what we should be. Okay, Raj?
Very true. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
You're changing my thought process.
No, I think we all need to change, because I mean, there's nothing like age, Raj. There's nothing like age. There's nothing like time. If you want to change, you can change, because I firmly believe, we are all in the planet for quite a short time. Even if we call 100 years also, still I would call it a short time, because for the kind of potential the human mind possesses, even 100 years, 120 years is still small, because that is so much that we can do. And if we start living in our comfort zone so much and don't do anything which we otherwise have to do, then I don't think we all should live I mean, it's not right to die with guilt. We need to do what we have to do in life. That's it. That's a simple philosophy I believe in. And I think that is the motive, and that is the intent that can really pull you up, that can make you a better person.
Very true, Dr. Kavitha. Really, thank you so much for this insight.
So if there are no questions, then I think we can wind the class.
Oh my God. All right. If anybody has a question, they can please ask now, or we are about to close the class now. Yeah, I think nothing is there. So I
Yeah,
really thank
yes,
you,
Raj.
Dr. Kavitha, for this session.
Thank you
It
so
was
much.
really, really great session, and we're looking forward for the next one.
Thank you, Raj. Thank you so much. And then have a great evening, morning, whatever your time zones are. Thank you so much.